On my 21st birthday, I went out with four of my good friends to celebrate after work. We went to a bar and got stupid drunk. Even though we were wild back then, we still had a designated driver who was one of our friends because that was his turn. Back then, we didn't have Uber. Unbeknownst to us, our designated driver, who is one of our friends, took the bottle outside where we couldn't see him and got hammered. Then it was time for us to go home late in the night. My vision was blurry. Didn't even remember getting into the car. All I remembered was the screeching of tires, the crunching of metal, and the shattering of glass through the air. Pain surged through my body as the violent impact jolted my back from my drunken slumber into a state of disarray. I groggily opened my eyes, feeling disoriented and confused. The bright, sterile light of the hospital room assaulted my senses, and it took a moment for my blurry vision to adjust. As I tried to piece together the event leading to this moment, a sharp pain radiated from my groin, causing me to wince in agony. My gaze shifted downward, and my heart sank as I saw the bandages adorning my injured groin, broken ribs, and right hand. The pain intensified with each passing second, making me acutely aware of the severity of my injury. A wave of nausea washed over me as I considered the consequences of my actions. The doctor entered the room, his face a mix of concern and professional detachment. He told me that all my friends, except for one, have passed. The one that was still alive is on life support. He said that I would fully recover. However, the trauma I have suffered may have caused severe damage to the testicular tissue, leading to a condition known as cicatrix or non-obstructive azoospermia. He said it might impact or disrupt the delicate process of spermatogenesis, hindering the production of sperm. As I lay in the hospital bed, the weight of survival guilt settled heavily upon me. How had I been spared? Why my friends perish? It felt like a cruel twist of fate, an undeserved reprieve that left me haunted by their absence. Each face flashed before my eyes, forever etched into my memory. Their laughter, their dreams, and their potential snuffed out in an instant. The loss was immeasurable, and the grief engulfed me like a suffocating blanket. I mourned the untimely death of my friends, grappling with the injustice of their lives cut short. Surviving felt like a double-edged sword, as if I was left to carry the weight of their memories and honor their legacies. I was not religious, but in the days that followed, I found solace knowing that a higher power had a mission for me in life, and I needed an answer to know what to do. As I lay in the support of a hospital bed, grappling with the immense grief and survival guilt, a gentle knock on the door interrupted my thoughts. A preacher stood in the doorway, his compassionate eyes filled with empathy. He introduced himself and explained that he heard about the accident and wanted to offer comfort and support. His presence felt like a lifeline in that moment of despair. It felt like the answer I was looking for from a higher power. We talked for hours, sharing stories and diving into the depths of faith. He spoke of redemption, forgiveness, and the unconditional love of Jesus. Something within me resonated deeply with his words, and I saw his visit as a sign of hope and divine intervention. As the preacher continued to visit, our conversations began to transform my shattered spirit. I began to see the possibility of finding solace and purpose through faith. The teachings of Christ offer me a path of healing and redemption. I started to understand that even in the face of tragedy, there could be a greater plan at work. Motivated by this newfound faith, I made the life-altering decision to repent and give my life to Christ. I sought forgiveness for my past actions and resolved to live in life guided by love, compassion, and service to others. The weight of guilt gradually lifted, replaced by a sense of peace and purpose. In the years that followed, my commitment to my faith deepened. I enrolled in Bible school, immersing myself in the teachings and principles of Christianity. The journey was transformative as I studied the scriptures, learned from my wise theologians, and honed my skills as a spiritual leader. Upon completing my studies, I embraced my calling and became a pastor. I felt a profound sense of fulfillment and joy as I stood before congregations, delivering sermons and sharing the transformative power of faith. Guided by my own experience of pain and loss, I sought to offer solace and support to those who were navigating their own trials and tribulations. As years passed in my role as a pastor, I encountered a remarkable woman who would forever change my life. She was a beautiful and charismatic individual with a magnetic presence that drew people towards her. Although her way of dressing was unconventional, characterized by tight dresses and seductive outfits, I didn't judge her because her genuine love and compassion for others shone through. She was kind to people and involved in multiple paid charity events. She was traveling often, made more money than me from those charity events she travels to. I spoke to her about my accident and how it brought me closer to God. But I never shared to her that I may not be able to have kids. The reason why I didn't tell her was because I believed God would heal me, and I had faith in God. As we spent more time together, an undeniable connection formed between us. We shared our dreams, our hopes, and our deep love for God. In each other, we found understanding and support, a partnership that felt like a divine gift. Over time, our friendship blossomed into a profound love, and we made the decision to move in together and get married. 2 years into our marriage, a miracle occurred that reaffirmed our faith and deepened our bond. Against all odds, we discovered that we were expecting our first child. The doctor has previously informed me that I couldn't have children, and yet here we are, experiencing the joy and awe of new life. It felt like a testament of God's grace and the wondrous ways in which He works in our lives. The arrival of our son filled our hearts with an overwhelming sense of gratitude and wonder. We marveled at this precious gift, knowing that he was a testament to the miracles that could unfold, even when circumstances seemed impossible. Our journey as parents became a testament to the unfathomable blessing that God has bestowed upon us. We embrace our role as parents with a deep sense of responsibility, vowing to raise our child in an environment filled with love, faith, and understanding. As our marriage continued to unfold, my wife's passion for church work and involvement in various charity organizations took her on frequent solo travels. While I understood the importance of her dedication and sacrifice, I couldn't help but feel a pang of unease whenever she embarked on these journeys, leaving me to the care of our son. I recognized the significance of her mission and supported her wholeheartedly, thinking that her work was making a positive impact in the world. Our marriage, like any other, experienced its share of ups and downs. We faced challenges and disagreements, but we remained committed to keeping our family together and nurturing our love for each other. It was a constant journey of learning, growing, and finding ways to navigate complexities of life together. 2 years after the birth of our first son, we received news that filled our hearts with overwhelming joy and disbelief. We were expecting another baby. The doctor's diagnosis of my infertility had made this news seem impossible, and yet here we are, experiencing the miracle of a second pregnancy. It felt like a double blessing, a confirmation that God's hand was working miracles in our lives. As we waited the arrival of our second child, I couldn't help but feel a deep sense of gratitude and wonder. The mistrust that had taken root within me towards doctors and medical professionals grew stronger. I questioned the accuracy of their diagnosis and felt as though I had been deceived. This experience reinforced my belief that God alone held the power to heal and that miracles could happen despite the limitation of medical science. With the arrival of our second healthy baby boy, my faith in God's divine intervention was further solidified. The joy and the awe that accompanied his birth were indescribable. It felt as though God has bestowed upon us an abundance of blessing, shattering the doubts and fears that had lingered within me. From that point forward, my faith became intertwined with the miracles I had witnessed. I sought solace and guidance in my relationship with God, knowing that He had orchestrated the seemingly impossible. I recognized that while medical professionals may play a vital role in healthcare, there were mysteries beyond their comprehension that only the divine could unlock. As I held my 2 healthy sons in my arm, My heart overflowed with gratitude and a renewed sense of purpose. I was determined to raise them in a deep understanding of faith and the belief in the extraordinary power of God's love. They were living proof that miracles could happen, and I wanted them to grow up knowing that God's healing touch transcends the limitation of human knowledge. Then one day, a persistent pain in my abdomen and groin started, but I ignored it, thinking that it would go away. After days, it became so intense and I couldn't ignore it any longer. Reluctantly, I decided to seek medical help, despite my initial belief that God would heal me, choosing a different doctor from the one who had treated me after the accident. I hoped for a fresh perspective. During the examination, the doctor discovered that the injury from the accident had flared up, requiring additional surgery. It was a blow to my faith, but I understood that sometime medical intervention was necessary for healing. The doctor's words weighed heavily on me, and as he explained the severity of the situation and the need for immediate action. Additionally, to further understand the extent of the damage, the doctor recommended a testicular biopsy. The results revealed a devastating truth. There were no viable spermatozoa found. I was stunned by this revelation, especially considering I had confidently shared with the doctor that I had 2 children. He expressed disbelief, unable to reconcile the test results with my claim. Driven by my unwavering faith, I fervently preached to the doctor about the power of healing through God. I tried to explain that miracles and divine intervention can surpass medical explanation. However, the doctor remained skeptical, urging me to provide evidence that would substantiate my claim. He proposed a DNA test for my 2 sons, an opportunity to prove that they were indeed my biological children. I agreed, driven by a mix of curiosity and a desire to reaffirm my faith. I chose not to inform my wife about the DNA test as she was away on her travels at the time. With my 2 sons by my side, we visited the doctor's office to undergo the testing. Days passed with an air of suspense lingering in my heart. When the results finally arrived, I was taken aback by the shocking truth that revealed. The DNA test showed that my sons were not biologically related to me. Moreover, the results indicate that they share the same father, but it wasn't me. Confusion, disbelief, and headache consumed my thoughts. It was an earth-shattering revelation that shattered the foundation of my belief. I couldn't fathom how this could be possible, but the scientific evidence before me left no room for doubt. The test result demanded that I confront a painful reality. In an attempt to find clarity and validation, I sought a second opinion to confirm the DNA result. However, the outcome remained consistent, further cementing the truth that I was not the biological father of my 2 sons. It was a profound betrayal of the trust and love I had invested in my family. Overwhelmed with emotions, I grappled with the weight of this revelation. Questions raced through my mind, questioning the nature of the bonds I have formed and the future of my family. The pain of the situation was indescribable, and I knew that moving forward would require immense strength and resilience. I wanted to confront my wife with this extraordinary proof of her infidelity, but something within me wanted to find out who she had been cheating on me with. I had my suspicion of who it was, but I wasn't even close. I felt a growing sense of unease with suspicion as my wife's travel became more frequent. Deep down, I knew something was amiss, but I needed concrete proof before confronting her. With a heavy heart, I made the difficult decision to hire a private investigator, understanding that the truth, whatever it may be, need to come to light. The cost of the private investigator was significant, but I believe it was worth it in order to uncover the truth. Days turned into weeks as I anxiously awaited the results of his investigation. During those weeks, I had to act like business as usual around my wife, as not to compromise the investigation. When the day finally came, the investigator presented me with a series of photographs, undeniable evidence of my wife's double life. Each picture felt like a blow in my heart. There she was, preaching against infidelity in church, while behind my back, she spent most of the time with her ex-boyfriend during her travels. The weight of her betrayal was crushing, and I struggled to comprehend how someone I loved and trusted could engage in such deceitful behavior. Armed with irrefutable proof, I confronted my wife, my voice trembling with a mixture of anger, sadness, and disbelief. She couldn't deny it. her guilt written all over her face. She pleaded for forgiveness, promising that it was a mistake, that she still loved me and our children. But the depth of her betrayal had shattered the foundation of trust we once had, and forgiveness seemed impossible in that moment. The anger and pain welled up inside me, overpowering any remnant of love that remained. The decision to file for a divorce became clear, a necessary step to protect myself and our children from further hurt and deception. It was a painful choice, but I couldn't continue living a lie, pretending that everything was okay. The day that followed were a blur of paperwork, lawyers, and emotional turmoil. The path toward divorce was challenging and emotionally draining, but I knew it was the right choice for our future well-being. I gathered the church elders and fellow pastors to tell them what my wife did. Out of shame, she basically stopped going to church and was later excommunicated. Most people couldn't believe what she did, but it later made sense to them because of her mannerism, her seductiveness, and constant need for attention, which everyone, including me, saw but chose to ignore till now. As much as I loved my children, I still felt like they had a biological father, and at their age, they wouldn't remember me if I was gone from their life. My soon-to-be ex-wife tried to convince me to stay, saying that I was the only father they knew. I responded that I was only the babysitter, the provider, the placeholder. The real father was in the private investigator's pictures. How could I be taking care of our baby while she's out there screwing another man? Then on Sundays, she would preach to others about purity and integrity, and she had none of those. Thank you for staying till the end of this video. Please share your opinion on the comment section. Please continue to support this channel by thumbsing up and subscribing if you haven't already. Thank you and have a wonderful day.